first thing in the morning of day 17 was to take a meat cleaver to add to my free belt slot, considering that yesterday I broke one of my hatchets. Then, after depositing the loot I got the previous day in their corresponding storage units, I went outside. Despite the massive blizzard, I was able to notice a Zed behind the parking lot, so I dealt with him to avoid having troubles later when I come back. After taking his watch, I went in my truck and tried to reach the road. On my way there, I pulled over to deal with an enemy halfway. While doing so, two more tried to attack me from behind. The first was stubborn, but I was able to push him down before the next was on me. This last one fell from the first push. Alternating weapon hits, I was able to easily finish both. Time to loot a steak knife, and another two emerged from behind the trees. They were also hard to push on the ground, and a third one was able to outflank me. Thankfully, he fell on the ground from one push. After knocking down the last one, finally I tried to kill one of them but failed. The other two was fast on getting back on their feet, so I had to push them back down before finishing the first. Despite they tried to get up again, thanks to my hatchet, I was able to attack them fast enough to keep them down and eventually finish both of them. I had no time to check the loot on them that a new one attacked from the west. This one didn't want to fall and gave time for his friend to outflank me. At this point I have to retreat to line them up. But once I saw two more incoming, I had to reach my base to separate the first two. Again, they didn't want to fall. At this point I was using too much stamina. For this reason I ran through my base and climbed through the second window. This allowed to deal with them easy. Time to loot a belt, and I had to kill the other two as well. After that, I went back to my truck where to the north, I found two more Zeds that wanted to die. One of them even had a medium handle for me. Seconds after I heard some growling to the west between the trees, so I went there only to find a zombie that wanted to die. Time he was done for a new one approached my location. This one was easy to deal with, and after checking their loot, I had to move to the east in order to face a new enemy. The second I defeated it, another one came from the tree line to my left. Finally, after killing this one, it seems that my surroundings was safe. So I went back to my truck, but I had no time to start it that a new troublemaker appeared to the north. I killed him easily only to see another one approaching from the same direction. After dealing with this last one, finally I was able to drive till the road. Once there, I reversed to get in front of the wrecked white car and attached it to my truck. Then I pulled it further and then tried to bring it above the grass area. A tree sapling was blocking the towed car pathway, so I had to chop it down. The noise attracted some Zeds to my location. I killed the first in time before I had to deal with the second. Later I had to face a new enemy to the north. I broke my hatchet on this one and had to switch to the meat cleaver to finish the fourth. Checking the bodies, I was able to find the hatchet head from the just broken weapon that I took, considering that is almost in perfect condition. After that, I had to kill two more before I was able to go back in my truck and pull further the white car. Finally, I was able to pull it away from the road, and it was time to detach it. The noise brought me another victim from the north that had a belt and digital watch for me. Next, while getting inside my truck, I saw a new client to the west I dealt with swiftly, followed by his friend behind him. At this point, I deposited in my car truck the new items looted so far, and by the time I was done, a new enemy was attacking me from behind. I dealt with him and tried to get back inside my car, only to find a new one in front of it to deal with. Later I was able to drive just a few meters before a Zed was in front of me, so I pulled over and used my meat cleaver to teach him how dangerous it is to walk in the middle of the road. He even paid his lesson with a digital watch. A few meters up ahead, there was another one that needed to learn this lesson. First I pushed him down to help him to wake up, then waited for him to follow me away from the road, where I finally explained him where pedestrians should stay. This one gave me his steak knife as payment. Two more appeared in front of me. I pushed down the first but wasn't able to finish him from the first hit. So standing on top of him, I pushed away the second to finish the one on the ground in time to react to a new enemy that tried to sneak behind me. It took 2 hits to kill him, but I was quick enough before the last one was ready to die. After that, I was able to drive further till the accident location, where I had to leave my car in order to deal with a fast approaching Zed. To make it easy on me, I climbed over the fence and killed him there. Seconds after, another one came to die from the north. I had no time to think what to do next, that two more appeared from the same direction. This is why I hopped the fence and killed them both once they followed me. Had to hop over again because a third one came to their aid. More appeared from all directions, so I had to retreat staying along the fence. I started to killing the first two that climbed over the fence, but had to push away another one before I could finish them. After that, I retreated more before climbing over again. Despite two of them followed me at the same time, I was able to stop them both from grabbing me and was able to finish both before the third joined the graveyard. One of them had a fanny pack with a lighter inside I looted. Immediately after, I had to kill another one that joined the fight before I can finish looting their belts, watches and boots. One of them even had a holster and a bulletproof vest for me to wear. Time to do this, that another two climbed over the fence and joined the dead pile. While looting those, I had to disable one of the watch's alarm that was set at 8 AM and 20 minutes. After that, I had to push a Zed in front of my truck to draw his and his friend attention. Then hopped over the fence to easily deal with both of them. They have nothing for me to loot, so I went back inside my car, but had to exit once I noticed a new Zed approaching the road fence. I was quick enough to reach his location before he climbed over, allowing me to dispose of him quickly. Seconds after, two more decided to join him. Time to loot a digital watch that I had to kill a fourth Zed that also climbed over the fence in front of me. Before I even think of entering inside my truck, a new one appeared to the west. After killing this one, I heard more Zeds inside the house. I killed the one outside in time before they broke the window. Plus a fourth one approached my location from behind the house. I was able to push and finish all three before two more reached my location. I was able to push both to the ground and finish one of them, but had no time to kill the second because two more tried to outflank me. They were stubborn and I lost control of the fight. So I ran inside the house only to aggro more on my way there. Thanks to my quick reaction, I was able to kill one that climbed through the window, but this broke my meat cleaver. So while switching to my lead pipe, I moved behind the entrance window. With two swings I was able to kill one of them, but the other had time to get back on his feet and the next was able to push me. Thankfully, I regained balance in time to sprint away and push back the one that tried to grab me. At this point I was overwhelmed, so I ran to the other side of the house, killing another Zed on my way there. Seconds after, two members of the horde reached my location. I pushed them to the ground and tried to kill both. But my timing and positioning was bad, allowing both to get on their feet. My mistakes gave time to a third member of the gang to come to their aid. At this point, I had to go back to the road where I could use the fence to save energy. This allowed me to kill two of them before the rest forced me to move away. Then I climbed again the fence and was able to kill two more and stun the third before the fourth came to their aid. Initially, I tried to deal with him, but another member of the team tried to outflank me. This forced me to sprint over the fence. After that, I tried to kill at least one of them once they started to follow me, but they were able to knock me down. The one that was on his feet was finally able to injure me. So I climbed over the fence again and checked my injury, only to find out that it was a scratch on my upper torso. I continued retreating in order to have time to bandage it. Once all members of the horde was on my side of the fence, I climbed over. This allowed me to kill three in a quick succession before I had to retreat further and climb over again, allowing to kill the fourth that followed me. At this point, I was already out of breath and the fight wasn't over yet. Despite the last two was on opposite sides of the fence, to my delight the further one decided to take a scenic route on the other side. This gave me time to deal with the first before finishing the dumb one. While looting the just killed group, an extra Zed climbed over, only to be smashed by my feet. Another one took this opportunity and tried to grab me from behind, but I reacted in time to sprint away and meet him on the other side of the fence, where I beat the crap out of him. Finally, I went back to loot the hoard. This allowed me to find, beside the usual stuff, also a carving fork. Once I was done, I went inside my truck and reversed it close to the wrecked car, immediately after I proceeded in attaching it to my vehicle. Next, I pulled it away from the road. Time to finish the job, and a Zed tried to attack my truck, and unfortunately, I had to kill him on top of the road. But this allowed me to notice a key on the ground. To my surprise, it was from the ambulance with the full gas tank I towed back to my base yesterday. At this point, it was time to detach the wrecked car from my truck and deal with the nuisance that came from the west. Time to go back to my car, and I found myself surrounded. Considering that I was almost out of breath, it was time to flee back to my base. I will deal with them later. The road back home was uneventful, thanks to my dedication to kill every single Zed I see. After perfectly parking my car, I reached its trunk to get every single item I obtained on my last trips. Then went to the basement to deposit the log and televisions in the metal shelf. Plus, I placed down the recycle bin in my bedroom, close to the over 400 dead zombies on my roof. After that, I deposited all new items in their corresponding storage. Took the gum and lighter from the funny backpack collected before and thrown those bags. After that, it was time to tend to my wounds. Thankfully, the head one was fully healed. Once I was done reorganizing my new loot, I went outside to the ambulance, for which I found the keys a few minutes ago. The engine wasn't starting, and the noise brought to me a Zed from the parking lot. I didn't mind his visit, considering that he had a belt, watch, and even boots for me. After that, finally I was able to start the ambulance and parked it in the first lot, where in the past there was a huge pile of dead zombies that already disappeared. Next, I found a gurney in its trunk and decided to place it down in front of the entrance. Sadly, I cannot use it to move corpses around to avoid becoming exhausted. I had no time to think about these frivolous ideas that 2 more Zeds came from the west. After dealing with them, I went back to the ambulance and took all the trash left inside. After that, I also removed its radio to dismantle later and obtain its battery for my flashlight. To my surprise, this one was a rare premium technologies ham radio. Dismantling it will give me a massive boost to my electrical skill when I will find the Volume 1 skill book. Considering its high weight, I decided to move it to the basement and keep it in the metal shelf with the televisions. The rest of the time I had on my hands, I spent moving all the useless items from the corpses pile to the trash bin and deleting them from existence, in the hope to find some new items I missed searching them the last time. Unfortunately, it was taking too much time and it started to become too late. Therefore, at almost midnight I went to bed.